I gotta check the main page real quick. Alright, see if it popped up. You can see it. Well, let's see. What view they got? Nope, just missed it. Ah, I thought it was gonna work like that. There's globe earthers who don't believe in the official narrative of 9/11. There's flat earthers who believe that the official narrative of 9/11. Hey, it did work. So if there's flat earthers who believe the official narrative of 9/11, and there's globe earthers who don't believe it, but they're globe earthers, who are you gonna trust? You're gonna trust someone like Tim Osmond? Now, which Tim Osmond do I mean? Do I mean the Tim Osmond that supposedly... Now, even if Tim Osmond... Oh, I'm using his CIA name. My bad. I meant, what's his name? Osama bin Laden? Yeah. Even if he did do that, it still would be impossible. It's like, that just doesn't work out that way. Even if the official narrative is true, like, it would make no sense. But Patrice O'Neal, he's one of the greatest comedians that ever lived. If you don't know who Patrice O'Neal is, well, you're in the closet. Now, Patrice O'Neal was probably taken out by diabetes or a heart attack gun. I don't know.
So what are you talking about? Text messaging me after the 9/11 thing. I started getting all type of warrior emails to say go fuck yourself. They started sending me email what do you call it, links to all type, and they were going, Patrice, fucking fight hard, buddy. Like this. Oh my god! All right, I did get those text messages on the way to Boston. I mean, like, there's one guy, scientific, like there was scholars for 911, like not kooks, like there's one guy, scientific fact, talking about the way, just one thing, talking about the way buildings, things come down like dropping an egg. He said dropping an egg from the top of the World Trade Center would take 8 seconds for the egg to hit the ground. That's how long it took for the building to fall. Ready? And he said, even, let's say if you go, the fact that it falls and it has to hit each floor, and the pressure from each floor falling to the pressure of the next floor giving way. Let's say it was 110 stories, how you figured it out. Let's say, or it fell from the 96th floor. So if you gave it a half a second to fall, and then the pressure of the other floor to hold itself and then fall, a half a second, it would have took 46 seconds for the fucking building to fall. That's science, nigga. Science. It wouldn't have taken 8 seconds for the fucking building. Why would you plug in a half second if the additional weight falling on each one is additional? Yes. Why would they? Because they wasn't even giving it a second. A second was good.
Not only that, that is implying that it fell one floor at a time. When it started coming down, there were multiple floors smashing at the same time.
Multiple floors. 10 chunks at a time. 10 floors at a time were falling down.
It was coming down, giving resistance. Right? He said if you drop an egg off the top of the fucking building without resistance, it would take 8 seconds. A fucking building that was made out of steel and that it fell in what he said, its own footprint, which means it fell straight fucking down as opposed to it falling down.
Funny little thing called gravity.
No.
Falls straight down.
No.
But
a funny little thing called gravity. I'm a little pedophile, Anthony Cumia.
You're talking like as if one floor hits the next floor, and then now it's 2 floors, and then it's 3 floors.
Yes.
But when it fell, 10 floors at a clip were just smashing.
But it's still the resistance from the other floors. The resistance. If it was a half of a second, it would still be 20 seconds.
Okay.
It fell in 8 seconds.
Then they explain how it was propelled downward faster than gravity. Because
there's no such thing.
Faster than gravity. There's no such thing as faster than gravity. No such thing as gravity.
Thing is faster than gravity.
So how is it then?
So what
How
is
did
it
it
prove?
fall that? What is it proof? That there were rocket engines there pushing it down?
It was demolished professionally.
Wouldn't it still have to fall the speed of gravity? I mean,
it was still because that's what it was polarized. The cement that helped that's in the middle of each floor.
He was listening to these fucking brainwashed idiots just keep saying gravity, gravity, gravity. 9/11 gravity.
Proof that there were rocket engines there pushing it down?
It was demolished professionally.
Wouldn't it still have to fall the speed of gravity? I mean,
it was still because that's what it was polarized. The cement that helped that's in the middle of each floor with the steel was pulverized by explosives.
That was
that's how fast.
So now not only
a demolished building will fall.
So not only were the explosives put in the beams that support it, but we had to go around in cubicles and drill in the cement floors around where people were working and plant explosives.
Anthony,
wow,
this gets better and better.
Can you move your flash?
The buildings are not open. The buildings are not open 24 hours a day.
Let's just label it D5 instead of C4. I'll confuse the shit out of them.
The security guards said, listen, man, people were sending me all type of shit and I was watching it.
Shit is a good word for it.
This is scholars for not people. Accredited motherfuckers from MIT believe that these buildings were demolished.
And I got another email about the same type of thing, and they're just stealing JFK. And another one guy goes, NORAD was told to stand down.
Stand
When they
down.
released Sutherland's speech in JFK, whoever sent me that email, shut your teenage face. Shut it.
Take us DEFCON 1. Let's go to Tim on Long Island.
Tim, you sack-on piece of shit.
Let's go, Tim. Get in here.
Hey, I want to call about Patrice's theory here. There's a problem. It's not mine, nigga. I'm just copying what I heard. It's a white man theory.
Patrice's got to figure his copy-paste.
Yeah, I'm just repeating what another motherfucker said.
Hold on, but pretty much all of America is copy-paste.
By the way, let me say something.
Go read a few of those political books and feel like you're an expert.
Exactly. Even your disagreements are copy-paste, motherfuckers. So don't forget that shit.
Hold on, sir. Let me say.
Hold on, Jim, you earthworm. Let's see what Donald Trump, the president of the United States, has to say about this.
Imagine anything being able to go through that wall. Most buildings are built with the sealers on the inside around the elevator shaft. This one was built from the outside, which is the strongest structure you can have.
Is that right, Donald?
This is heavy steel. I said, how could a plane, even a 767 or 747 or whatever it might have been, how could it possibly go through the steel? I happen to think that they had not only a plane, but they had bombs that exploded almost simultaneously.
No, well, isn't that what Patrice O'Neill just said? Well, isn't that just a coincidence? Keep going there, buddy. I got your back. Long live the kings.
Something about Patrice, because after 9/11, no one was fucking louder at the Comedy Cellar table with the chalk doing the fucking all the numbers add up to 11. Remember that?
That shit.
I know you believe it. I didn't say a lie. I didn't say I didn't either.
Don't make me an asshole.
I believed it until September 13th. You fucking did it until 05. 9 plus 2. Yes. Good point.
All those numbers.
9 plus 2. 11.
All the numbers that added up to 9/11 was every number you did that the dates added up to 9/11. I thought that was fucking 5 years ago, but
you do understand that the craziest people in the world have these number things that
the craziest people in the world have this number things that it's called etymology. Numerology, actually. I'm an idiot. It's numerology. No, gematria. The gematria is the most technical. So yeah, etymology is the breakdown of the root words. Numerology is using, obviously, numbers for symbolism, and gematria is breaking down and decoding that into making its sense and speaking a language of its own. Ding, ding, ding!
There were also facts that were wrong in that equation. Like they listed the wrong number of passing. 9 plus 2. Yes. Good point.
All those numbers. 9 plus 2. 11. All the numbers that added up to 9/11 was every number you did that the dates added up to 9/11. I thought that was fucking 5 years ago, but
you do understand that the craziest people in the world have these number things that
there were also facts that were wrong in that equation.
Every number you did that
wrong number of passengers added up. When you look at 9/11, well, it's a 9 plus 2 ones. 9, 10, 11.
Flight 11, Flight 11, 93.
Yeah, which is 12. No, Flight 93. I think it is.
I don't have to 93 to represent Nothing.
Exactly.
And then the front light 11.
Oh, it's a 9, but when you turn the 3 this way, it looks like ticks. And there's 2 ticks. So that's 9 plus 2 is 11.
The buildings were 11. It was a, but you believe that shit too, man.
Isn't it hard to build 2 buildings in the shape of an 18? It's very inconvenient for the
Oh no!
I saw a 27 building in Chicago.
Listen,
Science, man.
this is what.
Yes.
So the problem with the collapse is you're talking like each floor is a structural entity unto itself. It's not. The floors are actually suspended from the outer skin of the building. So once that building starts collapsing, those floors have no strength at all. They're providing.
They're not waiting. Like how fast did the building?
They're not waiting a half a second. 8 seconds or not. 8 seconds. They're not. That's how fast it fell.
They're not waiting at all, man.
Yeah,
that's just going right through.
Yeah, apparently there's no such thing as for every force there's an equal or for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. So that there would be a force, obviously a resistance, which is what Patrice was talking about.
I have a special which I saw. Not to interrupt you, but I have a special that I saw.
Like a bird hitting a plane will go through the steel. So if a bird could go through the steel of a plane, how could a aluminum plane go through pure steel meant to never ever go down from a plane head?
So to have on DVD somewhere of why the buildings fell the way they did.
I saw that same
It
fucking
had something to do with the way that they were laid. The floor should have been hung in a sturdier fashion.
Why didn't the upper part, when the building started collapsing, the upper part above where the plane hit did not explode? There were no explosions. It didn't collapse until that thing came down and hit the ground.
So how do they know where to plant the explosives?
Who's to say that the explosives they planted it all through the building, and who's to say that those explosives they didn't know how to set off the explosives where they need to set them off?
Let me ask you a question. If they were going to go through all this, if they were going to go through all that, wouldn't they have just like that? They're saying that like the guys are alive, like the 9/11 guys are alive. Wouldn't they have just picked guys who are dead?
Let me tell you how much you invested his mind.
Yeah,
he believes it. But it's something. There's some little blockage of reasoning that makes him not completely believe it.
Not true.
He's being a devil's advocate.
No, I don't buy it.
Wait, you're saying? Wait, weren't you just saying that they had to plan it beforehand? Israeli art students working in the towers before 9/11. Why did they need so many BB-18 explosive fuse holders? Huh. Weird. It's like they were setting up explosives before. If you look up the elevator blueprint diagrams, they had a whole big elevator, what's it called? Renovation, months before. So the entire elevator was all throughout all the floors. It's so obvious. How far behind are you? You're one of those the people in my channel are fucking smart. All the people on other people's channels are fucking stupid. Fucking follow Nathan Oakley's debate channel. Anthony Riley. Fucking idiots. Following Arwen. Fucking Pete Shea. You fucking idiots follow the wrong people. Alright.
He believes it.
I don't buy it.
Norton believes it.
So how do they know where to plant the explosives?
Who's to say that the explosives they planted it all through the building, and who's to say that those explosives they didn't know how to set off the explosives where they need to set them off?
Let me ask you a question. If they were going to go through all this, if they were going to go through all that,
it's the JOOs. It's the Jews, Watson. It's always, Nike, just do it. Just do it. Just do it.
Wouldn't they have just like that? They're saying that the guys are alive, like the 9/11 guys are alive. Wouldn't they have just picked guys who are dead?
Let me tell you how much you invested his mind.
Yeah,
he believes it, but it's something. There's some little blockage of reasoning that makes him not completely believe it.
Not true.
He's being a devil's advocate.
No, I don't buy it.
He believes it.
I don't buy it.
Norton believes it in his gut because being a comic, you have to have this kind of cynicism towards the government. He knows
cynicism is one thing, but something that if you said to me there was a rogue element in the government, like allegedly in World War II, and somebody knew that was going to happen and stood back and let it happen, maybe a couple of that's right away. You're talking about implosions and then bringing the buildings down. And Mohammed Atta, not being by a life somewhere. He's living in Ronkonkoma, but he's walking around going, and Mohammed Atta, they're going, no, you're dead. Okay. He loves me, I'm a comic. Wow, he's from Jersey, he knows. You fucking know and I really don't. I actually looked. I asked for credible. I said, please, because me and Tim Young were talking. Tim's a comedian, and when Tim goes, well, you know, WTC7. When he said WTC7, if he couldn't beat me to death, I would have hit him. But he couldn't. Oh, Tim's a psycho, and he could really hurt me. So I just kind of like, that sounds good.
Let's go to Joe the trucker. Joe, what's up?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, let's go, Joe. You gotta get right into it.
Okay, sorry about that. Hey, there was a little bit of difference between a concrete floor and an egg. The terminal velocity is totally different.
Yeah. So I said,
okay.
All right, thank you.
Let's go to Phil.
I don't think you got your comparison.
Let's go to Mark. Yeah. Astrophysics proves Patrice wrong. Mark. All right.
That's true. I don't know what kind of physics it is, but when each floor starts falling, it exponentially will fall with more and more pressure.
I said that. Yes.
So there's no way that it would take you. It was milliseconds that the
it wouldn't. You started the argument by saying, you know, a second per floor. No, this is a half a second. There's no way it's gonna be a half a second. This is incredible. Can I get a fucking? This is the problem with the show. We have a lot of them.
I live in my building is one of the greatest fucking, honest to God, one of the greatest theoretical physicists in the world. He lives in my building. Why would I? Hi, you don't know me. What do you think killed everyone in the World Trade Center? You ask transvestites. No, I don't. I close my eyes and enjoy. No one knows nothing. I ask that to be a
another thing while my brain is like this. No one knows nothing. Okay. Forensic study of the fucking immediately. This is what I remember from just watching this new shit. I'm immediately.
Hold on, let him talk.
Immediately, they came in and took away the fucking evidence of the building's fall, the physical evidence of the building's fall. Now,
they were looking for fighters.
No, man. Hold on, let it. The TWA flight, right? They dug fucking plane debris out of the ocean to put that fucking plane back together, to see what the fuck happened. They did not see what happened to the World Trade Center. Everyone saw it. Everybody saw it, but no, they did not do what made the fucking the material. They did not study the material. They took the fucking building away.
Here's the problem with that. If you recall, there was a fucking frantic rescue.
That's what he said. He said no.
People wanted to rescue. They actually, for a couple of days, if you remember, they thought they might actually dig some poor son of a bitch out of that mess. So they brought in cranes and just started pulling shit out of there. And where are you going to put it? Where are you going to put it? Broadway? Yeah, they had a fucking... And another thing is, when a plane blows up in the air and goes in the water, believe it or not, it's a lot easier to pick the pieces up and put them together than it is when it hits something at 500 miles an hour and ends up little specks of pretty much nothing.
Did you see footage of that vaporizing when it hit the Pentagon? And then someone sent me a link to a military test that had been done about nuclear reactors. They wanted to show concrete being hit by a plane, and there's no resistance.
No, it was a perfect hole in the side of the Pentagon. Perfect round.
They said the holes you're seeing pictures of inside we're done during the rescue effort. That was not the hole.
They're saying the plane.
You are being misled, my brother.
What? Who?
By the Jews.
The one group I agree with.
Here's a guy that worked in the World Trade Center. Let's see if there was any action going on while he was trying to do his job. Billy, what's up?
Hey boys, what's going on?
Hey.
I'm Patrice, man. I'm a cynic just as much as the next guy. Always into this government that's doing this and that, but you're taking it a little bit too far.
I'm just repeating what the white people say. I'm repeating everything. Let's go.
I'm up on the 65th floor of the Empire State Building, and during 9/11, we watched the whole thing. The first plane went by the building, went right down Fifth Avenue, shook shit off the shelves in my office.
Yeah, because it was doing about 500.
And it was a complete mess. And you know what? I guess, some people want to be able to point the finger. They want to have some concrete evidence that it was this person's fault. And,
plenty of fingers to point.
Look, I'm not in disagreement. I was as salty as I'm still salty. But I'm not saying that it's a complete. I'm saying something. You can't say that it's just completely an accident. An accident, an accident that the government.
Just listen to how brainwashed Anthony Cumia is. He's always constantly interrupting Patrice. It was Arabs. They don't like us. They were fighting us, and they bombed us.
I'm not saying that it's a complete. I'm saying something. You can't say that it's just completely an accident.
You're getting
like the Poseidon adventure, just
not an accident. It was Arabs that don't like us.
An accident, An accident killing us. That the government, that is starting to point towards more than just Arabs doing it.
Who blew up the trains in Spain?
Arabs. I believe that.
Who
What?
blows up the friggin' Paris? But they're able to do it. Who's hijacked planes over the years?
Listen, that's what I'm saying.
Listen how dated this is. Just blaming everything on the Arabs.
I believe it because I just believe it. There's no other point for it. I'm only watching these things that other people are doing work and raising questions. Everybody here is
they're made with an agenda.
You're making a decision on what to believe.
The things you're watching are made, created with this agenda. They twist things around and then present them to you in a twisted, inaccurate fashion.
They don't do that in
that little hole
in the other side, like your side of the thing.
No, because I'm not looking at some package that's presented as, look at the conspiracy. Here it is. I made it. View this. I'm looking at things like, here is file footage from different news agencies of photographs of the Pentagon. It's not one little hole in the Pentagon.
It's a perfect hole.
I'll punch it up later after the show. I will show you the real pictures of the Pentagon. And you will see wing marks, engine marks, everything.
This is what we should do. I was talking to Patrice about this. We should do a 9/11 show. I'm doing it on Saturday. I don't know are you into this?
I'd be into it, absolutely.
Here's the deal. It's Anthony picks a team, Patrice picks a team.
I'm gonna find me.
No, you need some backers. Tim Young is a big conspiracy guy.
Tim Young.
Here's the deal. We'll give it a couple weeks to develop, but basically, it's Anthony obviously doesn't believe what you're saying, and then let's do a couple hours and see what happens.
My blueprints.
You get to study for a couple weeks. You start bringing other people.
I think you'd be a reasonable person.
Like Anthony, who would you bring in? Would you keep Jimmy?
Jimmy's half a traitor.
Yeah, Jimmy doesn't believe in it really. That's not true.
Jimmy actually reads facts, and I raised questions. I said, look, there were certain things that were interesting points raised by conspiracy people. I said that Pentagon, the questions they raised were interesting. When I was presented with the facts and both sides, okay, now I understand why I believe a plane in the Pentagon. But I wanted to have, there were certain questions that were raised I didn't like. I don't like the fact that there's no photos of it happening and there's no video. I think it does exist. I think they're protecting us from it, but I don't think it's because it wasn't a plane.
I will bring in this. On that day,
I have Dr. Cockle
documented evidence.
You better get your shit together for doing this.
I will bring in pictures,
this is the guy that
charts,
reads
graphs,
blueprints.
And actual.
When was the last time you read a blueprint, Patrice?
I read a blueprint of my own.
You've never read a blueprint.
I had blue balls one day.
Here's a blueprint he would read. It's a girl lying on the bed looking for love, and the blueprint is his hand jerking off on her. And then there's a blueprint of the door, him opening it and closing it and leaving her.
When did this piece of shit motherfucker become like the reason?
Yeah. I happen to be.
This is what I'm saying. He's the dirtiest hook of shit ever, and he will just sit there and explain me jerking off. But I told him that. Do you understand? Yeah. He'll repeat. He'll just repeat.
Well, at least I'm not saying it's science.
He's making fun of Jim.
I told him that could have been exaggerated, but I'm saying he's repeating. Just like you saw.
Oh man.
You're just saying, oh well, this blueprint is this, but you're discrediting other stuff that's just as credible. The hole in the side of the building. Why is your picture the
Sounds
picture?
like flat Earth.
The picture I saw is some imaginary horse shit that they made up.
Because I will also use your picture as one of the pictures that show a bigger picture. Yeah. You're looking at one little narrow piece of information. You know? And if you zoomed in on that wall right there, you would see a wall full of naked women. And now if you presented that picture to somebody and said, what type of room was this taken in? There'd be speculation that it could be anything. It could be a Playboy shoot room. It could be a fucking porno guy's fucking thing. It could be guys in his bedroom, a teenage boy's bedroom. You pull back here and take it, you know it's a radio studio. I'm saying you're looking at a narrow piece of information.
I'm looking at 4 different angles of the site. The angles that there was another fucking thing on that. The way the plane would have had to crash,
it did.
The plane would have to go like this. The way the plane crashed, it's like it was driven into the side. That's what I'm saying. It's improbable. That's the word.
Improbable. It's probably a 1 in a million shot that guy hit the Pentagon.
Why crash a plane then, and why not just have a shoulder launcher? Why not fire a missile? Why, if you and I, if you're saying this, and I can hear you say it, then why wouldn't people who are brilliant enough to plan this make such basic errors? Like, why would you put a missile hole and say it was a 767?
They believe that we're dumb. They believe this country to be stupid.
Not until the information is passed. This is not JFK. Even JFK, the conspiracy became kind of like, geez, that doesn't look good. And that was in the 60s they had video cameras. This was 5 videotapes taken in 63. Everything's videotaped now. They're going to fire a missile at a building and say it was a plane and not think that anyone's going to, not think that somebody might have a video camera or
conspiracy theories that you believe in wholeheartedly.
I believe JFK. I believe a lot of conspiracy theorists are wrong, but I do think that there was definitely not just Oswald. Yes, that one I definitely
UFO conspiracies.
But I mean, not as far as they present.
I believe UFO conspiracies. Not that there are any or they're aliens, but I do believe that the government kept information from the people on things that they were working on.
Like nuclear bombs and shit.
And like weird powered devices that kind of look like flying saucers in the desert. When people would see that, and then the government would be like, "We got nothing flying in that area." It's like bullshit. That was one of yours.
That started to talk because they don't want to admit that they got stuff in the air.
Although pilot testimony convinces me, though, when you have pilots saying, "Look, this thing," I've heard radar stuff saying, when you have a craft going up, it's just going like 400 miles an hour, and then just goes under like.
Hold on, a little commercial break, real quick. Commercial break brought to you by transgender activist.
Hi. You're neither male nor female, right?
That's true. I identify as non-binary, which means I'm neither male nor female, and corresponding to that, I use the they, them pronoun.
And you said gender roles are damaging our society, so we're very careful about language.
Yes, so a lot of our social selves are codified and cultured in the language that we use. We really use it to construct our entire society. And what's certainly true is that there is a huge variance of gender presentation and gender identity within humankind. There isn't simply men and women. Exactly, humankind is based on mankind.
You wouldn't say mankind.
I wouldn't, just because humankind is a more accurate descriptor, in the same way that me using they, them is a more accurate descriptor of my identity than using he or she.
Would you use Homo sapiens?
I very rarely in my life use scientific language to describe the people I work with.
Wise man means.
I very rarely use scientific terminology. I prefer to use the trans language, the make-believe unicorn language of the fairy elves that live in the trees.
Something you need to think about.
I think we should be thinking about the evolution of language to support gender neutrality. And that's for a number of reasons. The first of which is that it stops this assumption that either the most important people in the room are men or the only people in the room are men. And secondly, it does include that wider spectrum of gender. There's an excellent quote by a German linguist, Patrice, who says that gender and language should be both comfortable and fair. And she was referring to German, which is one of the most strictly gender codified languages in Europe. Sure. And English is not.
What's happening in German?
So German has a grammatical gender and a gendered pronominal system. They use gendered pronouns and they have gendered nouns, and that's supported by the wider grammar of the language. But actually, the German state is encouraging lecturers, professionals, and industry to use gender-neutral language. A great example. So in university, a bit like the University of Hull, universities in Germany, their lecturers are using gender-neutral language to refer to students because it's inclusive of everyone and gives that space to trans people who are neither male nor female.
Yeah. It's a matter, Andrew. It's a matter of courtesy. It's sensitivity.
Courtesy is all very well. I mean, you're describing encouraging people to use certain words. My problem is from words of police. When language becomes police, that is my problem. And look, we can all get back to those sorts of things, humankind or mankind. I mean, those are sort of interchangeable now.
Context. So you may, for example, be perfectly grammatical.
But I wouldn't say you hear what it says. That's rude.
I would say that it is dehumanizing. It shouldn't ever be a voice for the entirety of the trans community. Some people may self-select to use it, but it in general is quite dehumanizing.
I'd say it.
Isn't this actually bad for women? The suffragettes would be appalled. They want women to be noticed. They want women to be out there. They want women to achieve and for other women to know that they have achieved.
It's really about something.
What about people who are non-binary? What about people who are gender fluid?
We're all male and female. We've always, yes, of course, we're all male and female. There are
transgender people.
There are a tiny minority of people who have intersex conditions. And there are a tiny minority of people who have some condition where they may have a female brain and a male body. Apart from this, we are all male and female, and the attempt to suggest that there is a third gender is, as far as I'm concerned, it's an ideological and a political project. It doesn't exist. The words male and female have existed throughout history, throughout the world. They refer, men are people who have penises, women are people who have vaginas. It's as simple as that. I would absolutely refuse to refer to this woman, who is clearly a woman, as a they, because for me that would be imposing an ideological political system. Because she is. If everybody watching this program can see that she is a woman. And that is imposing.
Your problem. I think that's actually your
imposing.
imposing.
No, you are. asking me to engage in an ideological political system which I disagree with. I believe we are all male and female.
What they should be called is looking at ideological system.
No,
I really want to come back and
referring to
the scientific
I'm off my cup of tea.
Your respect for me is already diminished if you insist that I ascribe to some ideology of fair gender which I do not agree with. If this he and she is socially constructed, how come everybody watching this, everybody in the audience, can basically identify male and female just by looking? Occasionally there are people who are more difficult to identify and we try to be tactful, but it's not just socially ascribed, it relates to a physical reality reflected in our voices, our appearances, in all kinds of ways.
It's like a great spectrum. Right?
And the host has to interrupt the smart woman from making a fool of the weird mutant it lady.
Mm-hmm. Someone must agree with you.
Don't make fun of the ugly people. Don't make fun of weird people. Don't make fun of stupid people. Just everyone sing kumbaya and everything's okay. We don't got to solve any problems. We should just all let people call it and identify as Apache helicopters and toasters and.
He wants to say something. You want to say something. You're going to go to jump up. They want to say something.
They, yeah.
Are you they or do I say she wants to say
I am a female.
You see how fucking stupid that is?
I believe
you want me to say she
and
wants to say something?
And that is fine. However, the idea that you're saying...
Shut up.
Yeah, there is an imposition of it. Some people might say, well, we father of two daughters.
Very important. He, she refers to a male and female reality. And I think that there is something very serious at stake if we really do start eroding the concept of male and female, which I believe is happening.
Yeah, the legacy thing is saying, actually, I usually describe feminists. I see that as divisive. Well, feminism, like any other ism, like marketing, actually taken up.
These fucking. Their voices. Voice and just go fucking shut the fuck up. Think someone is by their fucking voice. Just listen to their fucking voice.
800 miles an hour straight up. I've heard like pilot transmissions and like radar that's this is weird stuff. To a certain degree, yeah. UFO is nothing but an unidentified flying object. But if you believe in UFOs, what's that different? UFO, if you're saying flying saucers, aliens are visiting, I definitely believe in aliens. Yeah.
You believe they were here flying around and they caught them? No one knows what you believe.
I don't think.
I can't imagine we're the only thing out there.
I don't think
that we're not the only living organism out there, but I don't believe that there's aliens flying around this planet.
Carl Sagan didn't believe it. I don't think they've been yet. He said that the distances were too great that they exist, of course, but it was just too far to come. It could be some incomprehensible way that they can get here. Wormholes.
Well,
but yeah, of course,
a psychopath said that a known crazy man said the most believable way that you could travel at this speed is if you learn how to manipulate magnetism and the magnetic poles between each planet. If you can learn how to manipulate that and be sucked in between the magnetism of each planet, you can travel that fast.
That is kind of crazy. There are theoretical physicists that say that there's a way to make something happen in two different places at once. Like, if you're traveling faster than the speed of light. Dr. Kaku and I discussed sometimes in the elevator. Oh, really? like, I'll walk in. One time I freaked out. I'm a fan of his. I used to hear my art. He's a disgustingly brilliant genius. And I saw him. I was starstruck. And he was at the desk, getting ready to walk towards the elevator. I go, "Hi, Dr. Kaku," and I started to walk, and he actually doubled back and almost went to the other elevator. Like, freaking out.
No, what bothered me about the good doctor, because you pointed him out to me one day. And I was walking home, and I actually saw him, and I started freaking out, and I was starstruck, because I'm like, that guy is smarter than pretty much anyone on this planet. What is he known for? He's a theoretical physicist. He's like, these guys are the ones that go beyond what physics do, and they theorize, like Stephen Hawking. They theorize about black holes before anything.
He's got some shit. And there he is on the streets of Manhattan, taking a little bike taxi. He was being filmed for something, though. They were filming. That's why I didn't go over and discuss it. Oh, by the way,
I didn't see the camera because I was just thinking that's a little strange. If I was that brilliant, I don't think I would be, taking bike taxi for enjoyment. Why is no one that backs me on this drawing?
I did ask, by the way, your gravity question. I confirmed with
we control the show.
Oh, really?
Let somebody control the show. Somebody who backs me, asshole.
We had a guy that Opie and
30 pounds. That motherfucker who believe me, answer. Listen, this is what's gonna happen though, seriously. In about 2 weeks, we're gonna do a 9/11 show because this is getting old. We gotta settle it once and for all. Yes, it's Anthony versus Patrice. Anthony gets 1 or 2 guys, you get 1 or 2 guys, and then we'll have at it for 2 hours straight.
Presenting facts.
People are already betting. They don't ever get old, by the way. We're still talking about fucking JFK.
Oh, I know.
I know what you mean. But people are betting already, and the early bets are in. On Anthony. Well, I'm gonna, you know what? I've been leisurely into this shit, son of a bitch, and I just
now you're gonna tell.
I'm gonna get blueprints.
You know, there's nothing wrong with everyone being educated.
And we want you to wear a suit that day.
That's right.
And we want you to come here with a briefcase,
A sharkskin suit.
Now,
Sky blue.
that motherfucker has the Phillies on the front.
I have a PowerPoint presentation.
And you better have some charts.
Charts and graphs.
We want graphs and charts.
If
We're
you believe
it too, that's the sad thing. What believe in the 9/11 conspiracy? No, I'm not sure what the government knew. Just, you know.
Yo, shout out to Globe Earth, P. Mars. Spirit of the Longthorn. What's up? Peanuts Clark. Yeah, I'm doing well. What's going on, man? Oh, dude. Never forget Building 7. And wait a minute. Let's check that out real quick. Remember, was it Demolition? Twin Towers, yeah. Wasn't it Twin Towers first and Demolition, though? Yeah, and then even Hulk Hogan was involved in it. Check this shit out. Twin Towers versus... Wait a minute. Wow. They're probably going to make me wait 2 commercials. So this is the first 15-second commercial. I hope they don't make me wait 2. That's the new thing now.
Demolition. Gene is not so sure which is which. Wait a minute. Gentlemen, I must bring out the names of a couple of very serious contenders for the World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Champions. In terms of stature, they are bigger men. But I've got to ask you, are the Twin Towers, Akeem, and the Big Boss Man better than Demolition? What about it, Smack? What do you think, Coconut? Who's standing up here with the belts? We're the tag team champions. And you know why? Because we demolish everybody. The Twin Towers of the average man is huge. Towers and snaps. Because of where they are, the harder we can kick their teeth in. All right. Let's roll up.
What the fuck? I kind of want to watch that spot though. Jesus.
We're going to have one royal of the main event right here after this commercial message. Twin Towers took it, Eugene. This would be at this time the Switster, Akeem, the African Dream, and a Big Boss Man. Gentlemen, is this the match you wanted all along, or are you going to continue your terrorist attacks on the Mega Powers and the defenseless Elizabeth? What do you want? Or terrorist attack Boss man, gentlemen, is this the match you wanted all along, or are you going to continue your terrorist attacks on the mega powers and the defenseless Elizabeth? What do you want? Oh, we are anxiously awaiting the presents, and they're just about on their way now. The Twin Towers, our team, along with the Big Boss Man. And they are indeed towers, McMahon. Look at the size of these two. Huge. All right, thank you, Vince McMahon. Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage, the lovely Elizabeth. 3 people working as one, with one goal in mind: to defeat, or should I say demolish, the Twin Towers. Hulk Hogan, you talked about the Triangle of Love. Chuck, they demolish the Twin Towers. Is one with one goal in mind: to defeat, or should I say demolish, the Twin Towers. Is one with one goal in mind: to defeat, or should I say demolish, the Twin Towers. Hulk Hogan, you talked about the Triangle of Love. Jesse Ventura says there's a problem. Explain.
Well, you know, Mean Gene, you get right to the heart of the matter with that question, brother. It's the love, man, that's going to supercharge the mega powers and tear down the Twin Towers.
Yes, man. What were your thoughts then?
The Twin Towers, powers, and tear down the Twin Towers.
Yes, man.
Charge the mega powers and tear down the Twin Towers. Supercharge the mega powers and tear down the Twin Towers.
Yes, man. What were your thoughts then?
Oh, yeah, Mean Gene, I can still feel the pain when that cold steel bit into Miss Elizabeth's wrist right there. And when her muscles were torn, my muscles were torn, when her bone was bruised right there, I felt the pain. Hulk Hogan felt the pain, and I can still feel the pain right now. And Hulk Hogan, that pain won't stop until the Twin Towers come crumbling down. Oh, yeah, right. Until the Twin Towers. Now, and Hulk Hogan, that pain won't stop until the Twin Towers come crumbling down. Oh, yeah, right now, tonight, on prime time, yeah.
Oh, on prime time. Interesting.
And I can still feel the pain right now. And Hulk Hogan, that pain won't stop until the Twin Towers come crumbling down. Oh, yeah, right now, tonight.
Not completely. But as far as the event that happened on 9/11, it happened exactly how I saw it on TV. What they knew, I don't know why you're not letting the physicists go into. What Bush knew and all that, I question a lot of that stuff. Absolutely. So that's manipulate graphs. We want graphs and charts. We believe it, so that's the sad thing. What believe it or not?
Now, listen to this dude just interject, Opie here, and how now as far as 9/11 goes, it's exactly how I saw it on television. That sounds like someone who has his job on the line.
A level conspiracy show. No, I'm not sure what the government knew. You're not completely. But as far as the event that happened on 9/11, it happened exactly how I saw it on TV. What they knew, I don't know why you're not letting the physicists go into. What Bush knew and all that, I question a lot of that stuff. Absolutely. So that's manipulation. But that's different than saying the event and it didn't happen how we saw it.
Patrice wants to talk to a physicist. As a matter of fact, he was talking about Michio Kaku in particular, and I mean that seriously because he was living with Jim Norton at the time. He's literally talking about Michio Kaku. And Math Powerland just went live and says the NASA channel is live. Michio Kaku sings 9/11. Are you one of those conspiracy theorists? So I'm really interested to see what Math was talking about there, especially since that's a synchronicity.
I didn't say the event didn't happen. I wonder how you saw it. I do wonder if we could have prevented it. I wonder if we could have. I don't know. Those questions, man. The questions that were raised and the fact that there's a couple of kooks that are fucking saying, look, there's some credible guys making lectures that fucking work at institutions of higher knowledge. That are saying this shit.
I've seen them, and I've seen the same type of people, very intelligent engineers, talk about how we never landed on the moon either. And they're intelligent.
Yeah, I know. A lot of intelligent people, engineers, think that we didn't land on the moon because they're intelligent. Obviously, you can't land on the moon.
I don't know. Those questions, man. The questions that were raised and the fact that there's a couple of kooks that are fucking saying, look, there's some credible guys making lectures that fucking work at institutions of higher knowledge. That are saying this shit.
I've seen them, and I've seen the same type of people, very intelligent engineers, talk about how we never landed on the moon either. And they're intelligent people. Some of them, like I said, engineers.
The architect of the building said he couldn't fall like that.
But here's the other thing. Here's the other thing. Did the buildings need to fall for them to accomplish what they wanted to accomplish.
Well, I think when two planes hit the Twin Towers, job done. Well, they're saying that they got done exactly, but they got done exactly what they wanted.
They would have had to demolish. Why would they just do this? Let the planes hit and then demolish them. You'd have to demolish them anyway.
Right. You can start building up from where.
How did you get? No way.
How did they get that high anyway? You don't think they could build? Okay, ready? Any construction workers who could have, if the buildings didn't fall, could you have a construction company? Could you rebuild where the
they would have absolutely demolished them. They would have demolished them. If those buildings had like from the 76th floor up,
yeah,
God,
why go through all that destination?
No, it's not because they would have been worried about the. Yeah, they are smart people who are doing lectures on the lecture circuit.
As soon as the planes, hit, they did what they had to. They did what they wanted to do. I mean, to actually make sure the buildings came down. That what does that do at that point? Hey, Patrice, are you willing to believe that it was that, regardless of who did what, and stuff, that it was Mohammed Atta and terrorists that flew into that plane?
Yes, but here's what I'm saying. Yes, okay. I believe it to be so. But there are fucking look. I
had a follow up on
in terms of my own investigation.
Yeah.
When a motherfucker just raises a question, right? Like we were all the day after it happened. We.
Somebody told me Math is in drag character singing. I gotta see this. Has the fucking globe on his back. If the Earth was a globe, then why does Atlas still have the Earth on his back? If the Earth was a globe, a cat would have came by, made Atlas sneeze, and dropped the globe. Alright, let's see. I don't think he's live anymore.
I have the Academy of Pediatricians in Jesuit and Newton. Ultrasound. I see your head, you like it. I tattoo in your food. Cause you think I was never down. 50 miles all around. Come join me in the mystery of science. Crazy Muslims. So we're going to read you on that, and if you start a whole work, hopefully the Muslims will. Thank you very much. I can make you happy. You got conspiracy theory against logic.
I'm live right now. No, I'm live right now. Oh man, that was awesome. Michio Kaku sings. I mean, if that's not a synchronicity, also Michio Kaku was a young protege of Robert Anton Wilson. This motherfucker was hanging out with Robert Anton Wilson when he was a teenager. This motherfucker's got some cred, and now he's a top metaphysical, quantum, googly string theorist, hocus pocus, heliocentrist. But that was awesome. Glad I got to see that real quick. Okay, what's up, Darren? What's up, Zerd?
just were emotional. And just to watch that happen. But I'm saying now it's 5 years later, questions are being raised. And the fact that somebody would go, okay, some of these guys might still be alive. Okay, some of them might still be alive. It's just a question that goes in your head. Like, there's no point for me to. First of all, there's really no point to be against Bush at this point. He's gone in 2 fucking years. Yeah, he's done. So there's really no point to ever fucking really be on him this hard. But I'm saying when somebody says that, I didn't do my own investigating. Like, yeah, like when I saw a motherfucker driving a cab that looked just like the 18th nigga. I'm saying that you raise that question. You just go, could that shit be true?
That was why I asked on the air. That was why I asked on the air. That's why I asked.
What if the plane didn't make it? What if he got lost, got shot down? Then you have, and one of the buildings gets hit, let's say. One of the World Trade Center buildings gets hit, falls down. Now you got the other one standing there. The plane didn't fucking make it. The guy got caught at the airport. It was shot down by the fucking building. Whatever. He ran out of fucking gas. I don't know. What would they then do with a World Trade Center loaded with fucking explosives now? What do they do?
Good question.
Because what the fuck do they do? Because you do know that one was supposed to be either the Capitol or the White House. Where are the explosives that were in there?
Okay.
One of the planes almost had a mid-air collision too. When they were turning around from Boston, it was within a couple thousand feet or 200 feet of hitting another plane in flight. Yeah. So that one wouldn't be the World Trade Center.
That's right.
What happened? Patrice is raising. Where's the explosives?
Here's a possibility. Just to say, open your mind up. Completely ridiculous.
My mind is like a cougar snatch.
The fact that they're blaming this the owner, whatever scene. Okay.
Yeah.
Say as an insurance thing.
I think it's a disgrace first of all that Arabs do something and a Jew is taking the blame for it. Goddamn disgrace. I don't know how they spun that.
I'm just saying possibly. Possibly.
All right.
That in case of this type of disaster and you needed to bring these buildings down quickly, they built the buildings with demolition equipment just in case insurance-wise you had to go, okay, we got to bring them down right now.
Wow.
Your 5XL straight jacket. Wow. In case of this.
So you mean, Patrice, you called the demolition, you called them using demolition in specific areas and planting the demolition devices beforehand, months beforehand, years beforehand. And then you called the insurance policy that they had. Patrice, you're too wise for your own good.
Type of disaster and you needed to bring these buildings down quickly, they built the buildings with demolition equipment just in case insurance-wise you had to go, okay, we got to bring them down right now.
Wow.
Your 5XL straight jacket.
Wow.
Straight jacket.
And believe in something, even if countless engineers say it was a controlled demolition. Just do it for the insurance money. Patrice O'Neill, you were a legend.
Out there, I'm just throwing some out there that they control words. Cam's razor.
What?
2 words for you, Patrice. Cam's razor.
Cam's razor. What the fuck is that?
Oh my God. That's what I do now.
Patrice raises a good point.
I call Cam's razor.
What is that?
It's a question.
What is that?
OCCAMS razor. Oh shit. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there.
Well, tell Patrice that first. Occam's razor. I know Professor Anthony knows this term, but here you go anyways. The simplest answer is usually the truth.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I've heard that, but not put in those terms. All right. Well, we'll have a show. What is it? 2-hour show? You thinking?
I'm thinking 10 minutes.
I'm just thinking, what are we going to do with the other hour and 55 minutes? It's going to be like Little League.
And he's going to be ahead by 20 rounds. We're going to have to call the game.
I'm just saying that you gotta.
You're in deep trouble. What are you bringing to the table with you,
Who the fuck knows? I never got into any of these fucking.
You have no idea who you're dealing with.
I do.
I'm not
afraid of this motherfucking
He knows me every day. He knows me
You
more
read
and more.
the report. I'm not scared of this.
How many pages in the report, Anthony?
Oh my God. Hundreds. There was
Hundreds.
There was
How many pages did you read in the report?
I read what somebody else read and repeated.
Copy and paste. Patrice, copy and paste.
Oh, wait a minute. You fucking read
the 9/11 report.
Understand my entire life. Understand my context, but not my context here. You're only repeating what you're told. But you're only repeating certain information that you were told.
I'm not gonna let you get away with that. Not only does my pal Anthony read the report, then he studies up on it and starts pulling out blueprints and stuff.
Now you gotta go read the report, and now you gotta back it up with other sources.
My pal Anthony goes, "This looks interesting," but you know what? I want to find out for myself. So I'm going to find a blueprint of the
I'm going to the Boeing,
77
and I'm going to see what this piece is and look for the engine, and it matches.
Did you hear? Okay,
what did you do?
Did you hear about the fact that they found the guy's fucking passport?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just asking.
Uh-huh.
All right, who's the fact that they would say that, right?
Yeah.
You can you do two things. You either believe it or you don't believe it.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. These questions are like up for debate. Now, only thing I'm saying is that some of these scientists are saying that scientifically some of this shit is not credible. What that report you read is not credible from scientific basis.
You don't think it's feasible? You don't think it's feasible, possible, that a guy that is most definitely in the front of the fucking plane, and all the passengers were told to get to the fucking back of the plane, behind the fuel, and the guy is in the cockpit, in the front of the plane as it smashes into the building, and he is torn to shreds. You don't think his passport can go flying somewhere and end up on a street somewhere?
Is it probable? Is it probable? No.
It's so unlikely that they wouldn't have made it up. It's so unlikely that you wouldn't make it up. You wouldn't in an explosion. You wouldn't leave a passport in the street.
Oh my god! If you believe a passport was there, you're so total. And these are like comedians that a lot of like quote unquote free thinkers think, free thinkers they revere and they look up to, and they're all just globeheads. Opie and Anthony, Jim Norton, fucking globeheads. I'm going after all the globehead comedians. I'm the first person to coin that term, globehead comedian, and I'm going after all the globehead comedians. All the globehead comedians. Joe Rogan, you're all comedians to me. Fucking Bill Nye and Neil deGrasse Tyson. Failed fucking comedians, failed fucking actors. Fucking lame. Jim Norton, you fucking worm. Anthony, you fucking worm. Opie, you fucking nobody worm. Globehead comedians. I'm gonna come after you and all your fans. Fucking flats back millions of fucking people. I'm tying flats back fucking a couple of people at once. Thousands and tens of hundreds and thousands and tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands and millions of people. And then imagine the opportunity to flat smack a billion people. Like Eminem. Speaking of Eminem, do you have anything to say about the flat earth? Oh, you do. You wanna let the people know how you feel about Machine Gun Kelly soon and the flat earth? Okay, you got something to say? I'll let you say it. Right, do it up.
Rest in peace, Mac Miller. It's for the love of hip hop, battle rap. You gotta keep it alive. Yo. Dear Poston, I wrote you, but you still haven't posted. The only time you rocked the full house is when you went hosting. But anyways, fuck it, man. How's your little daughter? You're hopefully not getting involved with needles like a drug addicted father. Oh shit. I'm on another plane. I'm so awoken.
You are on another plane.
I'm on another plane. I'm so awoken. You trying to emerge and see me choking. And when I'm home alone, bitch, you still with Coley Coke. I'm watching the NRA that had his Machine Gun Kelly broken. Talk little bitch for Kelly. Shit up.
Believing something, even countless engineers.
Improbable.
Yeah, the whole conspiracy you're spouting is improbable. Is it impossible?
It could be
no.
improbable.
You know
It could be
something?
improbable.
They could have put the, but it's so improbable that you would take the less improbable thing and say this is more probable.
Tony can help out, Patrice. Tony,
right.
Louis, go ahead.
Yeah, what about that $20 bill that you folded up? The one side was the Pentagon, and the other side was the dollars. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, when you fold it,
I knew you was gonna let that type of person.
Who actually did that trick?
Stephen Hawkins is probably on the line right now.
You told me to help you out. I helped you out.
He just you fold up the 20, and it looks like a fire, like a. That's what he let through. He's not letting credible fucking people on the line.
I certainly did.
That's why he's gonna laugh at himself.
You know, if you also fold it a certain way, you can make it a bow tie, and then you can blame the Nation of Islam for it.
I certainly did. The next caller is going to tell Patrice that 9 + 3 = 12.
No. Anyway, here's a good question that we had. But this one, my mind is worse. Crazy. How would you? You're gullible too, you fucking piece of shit.
Admit you are.
How would you, if you can go back in time?
Yeah. Now we need time machines.
You know, I'm just saying. You think time machines possibly could?
We got a cabinet.
No, I don't think time travel ever.
You're wrong. It will be, and Dr. Cocker will explain that. It's about if you travel fast enough. Yes, it is.
And you go further in time.
You can see into the past.
Well, that's what when you're looking at the light from a star, you're not seeing a million years in the past.
You're not seeing an actual some substance you can touch anymore. You're seeing an image.
We can't see that yet. We can't do that yet. But eventually, they do think it's possible. And this is theoretical physics. Does think that's possible. It has something to do with mirrors.
And you're laughing at me.
And in certain way,
I thought you was being funny.
I'm not stupid all the time.
I thought you was being an ass.
It's a mirror. You know,
like how? No.
I can't believe that he actually just walked. I'm a good actor. I made that.
If you traveled away from Earth faster than the speed of light, as you look back on Earth, you would see time going back.
And you also see age differently if you travel the speed of light.
You would see it. It's not actually.
I learned that in the planet
you see.
Now let me ask you, if you could go,
no, he did, because he learned that in Planet of the Apes. No, remember, like, that's great. Let me put that in my footnote. Source, Planet of the Apes. Remember the scene where, like, it wasn't Charlton Heston, right? They used the other guy, and he was okay, and then he checked on his fellow astronauts, and there was a crack in there. And Lincoln, she was supposed to be our Eve. Damn you! So you cut out his brain, you bloody baboon. So they ended up aging. Remember?
Yeah, the one person, the one person. She was supposed to be the chick that was going to bang the 3 guys and make a new civilization.
There you go, see?
Okay, that proves it. That proves everything.
You're a hypothetical figure, right?
Why only one chick would they send though? What if she had bad genes and the kid turned out Down syndrome? They're like,
oh, now they're stuck on a
whole planet full of these things.
Now, back then they used to just send Raquel Welch in a row, them or something. Sophia Loren or Raquel Welch.
First thing you do is open a big hat factory.
They just throw them on a spaceship and all that wasted headroom.
Well, actually use the hats that the apes were wearing. Hey, here's a quick question. How would you have stopped it? If you go back in time, hypothetically, if you go send you back in time to 9, 10.
Oh, wow, that's kind of close.
How could you, what would you have done to try to stop it?
What would I have done to stop it?
To try to stop it.
Okay, I would have called, first of all, I would have called in bomb threats on all the planes. That's the first thing you do. Say, there's going to be a bomb on each of those planes. Automatically plane grounded. I give the names.
Automatically grounded now. Would they have been automatically grounded then?
Automatically. Yeah, bomb threat. They take very seriously. I'd have done that. Give out the names of the terrorists and say that these people, are planning to blow that. And it would mess up their whole scheme. They'd search them more. They'd look into the background a little more. Even based on like Statue of Liberty and scratch that nonsense off. White people.
Ask them. We're not them anymore.
We got to go back to white people.
Not just you fuck Adolf Bastion white people. I saw people on this last Bastion. The last Bastion.
Over after us.
After you was okay.
I'm hearing.
Dave.
Hey guys. Hey Dave.
I think that these conspiracy theories are impossible. I mean, all these firemen are sitting there sifting through the rubble. They don't find any remains of any sort of explosive devices in the rubble, but they'll find bodies.
Oh my god, dude. Such fucking amateurs. 17 years later, we still believe, still have like flat earthers that believe the official narrative of fucking 9/11. 17 years later, you think you call yourself a fucking truther?
Parts, they'll find computers, phones, all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's impossible to have that many people involved in these theories and not have one person.
Did you see the clip of the firemen talking? And the one dude was like, dude, it was a bunch of explosions. And that motherfucker came down like a professional demolition did. A fireman said that.
What does a fireman know about?
They know about all type of shit like that.
No one knows about the World Trade Center falling before it fell. No one knew about it. No one knew what it sounded like. People heard roars. They heard friggin' freight trains.
But you just discredit that statement as
no. He probably did hear explosives.
And he said the way it came down was like, what the fuck? Like that shit was not falling.
Anything is going to take the path of least resistance, which is straight down on a 90-degree angle to gravity.
When can we take
That's the path.
When can we take the path to a commercial break?
We could do that.
Segue. Oh, good segue. Because I got to take a path right to the urinal. Come on, guys. Let's lighten up.
Listen, fellas. I just was excited about all the new emails I got from my secret friends who won't call in. They're using their goddamn Negro or guinea pig to spew out the nonsense. White people really do know how to use black people for their own goddamn ill-gotten gains. You bastards. Where are you?
Did you see a picture of the guy who's like the head of this thing, this ass? He wears a shirt that says 9/11 conspiracy. He's a 22-year-old boob.
Yeah, but I'm not with it. I'm not.
No, but I mean, that's the mentality you're dealing with.
I'm let loose.
Patrice, this guy Jerome wants to help you out. Jerome,
here we go.
What's going on, fellas?
Hey, Jerome.
All right. I'm not going to say anything new. I mean, I know just as much as all you guys.
Why are you calling?
I'm a physicist. I want to try to help out too.
A physicist. Where do you physicist?
It sounds like we're physicists from Brooklyn Tech.
Yeah.
Hey, you're fucking E equals MC fucking square, nigga.
I made a mistake. I'm a pharmacist. Okay. I'm out.
I teach physicist ed at the high school.
All right, physicist. Where did you go to your physicist school?
Well, now it's probably going to get worse. More jokes. Small school out of Boston.
What?
Curry College.
Call what?
I know Curry. It's in Milton.
MIT a little too expensive, or the grades aren't that good?
Curry College is the Division 12 of physics. If they play Duke in the national physics, they would lose.
They didn't have any scouts in there.
No,
there weren't any scouts checking him out in high school.
The head coach is also the motherfucking cook. So he's the cook and the head coach of it.
Over the front door it says, if men were meant to fly, he'd have wings.
Oops. Curry College. They're professional. They're in Curry. They cook chicken, goat. You know they eat.
The physics of Indian cooking.
Nigga from Curry College calling. To back up there with the Curry fucking college.
Sir, what did you learn there that it will help out this conversation? And Patrice.
That's tough. I mean, Anthony, I gotta leave it all up to you though. With all your arguments, I mean, that's all that we studied. You know how things move in space,
right?
And exactly the points that are made with the commission report.
You're the dumbest physicist I've ever heard in my life.
Wait a minute. Give him a break too. Your boy is socially inept too. People are really smart. Are not good socially. Give him a chance. First of all, he's on the fucking radio. First time in his life. Let him get it out.
Sir, explain inertia.
Get right to the point.
Let's see if you can explain inertia.
Oh, that's good. You have a body, an object that's moving. There can be something inside of it, and if it turns left, that thing can turn left too.
Somebody call is that correct? I don't know what it is.
The law of inertia is easy. An object at rest will remain at rest unless it is influenced by an outside source, and an object in motion will remain in motion unless influenced.
I don't know who to believe. Curry College. Here's what it is.
Professor Anthony.
Or new professor, ex air conditioning man, new professor. Now, fuck both of y'all. I don't believe in either one.
Inertia is
Inertia is the name of my daughter.
No, inertia. It's where your dick is when you fuck Ursha. All right, Karnak. Good one. Yeah. Inertia. Then he held a little envelope up to his turban. Inertia. Well, let me say. Close the envelope over your shoe on your dickity. Yeah. 2 words. The inertia rob your house tonight.
Inertia. 2 words. Yes. Schrodinger's cat. End of discussion.
Is that someone else fucking with you?
I don't know. Schrodinger's cat is of course, the law of physics that says. All right, Jerome, anything else?
Well, I want to try to help out Patrice. I want him to think what's something that's an argument. What's an argument that he can't explain himself?
It's the scientific fact of how the buildings fell, how fast they fell. The thing I was watching, the guy said if you drop an egg from the top of the building, it would take 8 seconds to fall, but that's with no resistance. And the buildings fell in 8 seconds, 9 seconds with resistance.
Who was timing the buildings falling?
It's probably fucking on film. Let's watch it. Is he trying to help me? Or what
but still, like, that's something that's not possible either.
Can we at least get a guy from Patrice College?
I know they're a step up.
I need some allspice college graduates.
How about Mrs. Dash University, motherfucker? This nigga called from, I'm telling you, Curry College is a college that's on the way to another college. When you're driving, that's Curry College. I'm on the way to another one. It's the dumbest college ever. You in one building.
Physics community college.
Oh, gosh, motherfucker, women.
That dummy. I would rather hear Big A read out of a physics book. Of course. Let's go to Dave in North Carolina. Dave's going to back up a Patrice.
Hey. I've been in countries where they do risk buildings and bridges with bombs. And also, I want to ask you, have you ever seen a fire burn downwards?
A fire burn downwards? Yes.
Yeah, instead of up?
Yes.
It would make so much sense to drop a building at the lost cause anyway.
At what?
It would.
So check this out. So here's my group. So check this out. This is my group on Facebook. I think this is funny. This is some sort of... They always gotta troll me. So this is the League of Extraordinary Flat Earthers, or the Flat Earth Subgeniuses. It's a nice group. It's one of the most elite groups out there. Almost got 2,000 people in it. Some of the easily the best news that's shared out there. And 4 people want to join the group. Let's see who wants to join. Here's a link to my group if you want to join. Here you go. Let's check out who they are. All right, so we got joined Facebook, 2009, 8 groups in common, 51 mutual friends. Yeah, I mean, if you joined in 2009, we have that many friends in common, that many groups in common. Yeah, we're all straight. Got Jesus joining, good old Jesus. 1 group in common, but no friends. No friends in common. I don't know about that. We got 39 friends in common. Joined in 2007. See, this person joined in 2016. I don't know if I trust that. Go ahead. Let's go see here. Peter Pierce. This guy joined Facebook today on September 11th, 2018. And we have no friends in common. And he joined Facebook today. Like, why would I, you just joined Facebook today. I don't know about this guy.
It makes so much sense to drop a building that's a lost cause anyway. They can't put the fire out. They can't pull the plane out. You know, it would make more sense to drop the building.
Yeah, so they had it rigged just in case. I got you. Just
I'm
in
not
case.
sure if they had it rigged, but I mean, I've been places where they do rig things like that. And I mean, it's easy to say. They can get in there and push the C4 and drop it.
Thank you very much. That's Patrice's constituency.
Right?
There he is.
Yeah, there you go.
Big guy.
You might be right. If you ring a building, you ever seen a fire burn down?
Yes, I have.
You might be.
Whenever someone's talking, I've been in countries.
You ever seen a fire burn down? You might be redneck. I'm just gonna start to say.
You ever studied physics at Curry College? You might be an idiot. See the chemistry between us? We finish each other's sentences sometimes. But another minute, that guy would have said, "Did you notice there were no yarmulkes burned?"
That's another thing. Some of the shit, it's like what you decide that you're gonna. It's like I go when people go, there was no Jews in the. They were told the day before to take the day off.
Right. We got other things to do on the show today. So here's the deal. This is what I say to you. Well, first of all, you're gonna be on the radio Saturday night doing your relationship show, which is unbelievable. If you haven't heard Patrice doing his relationship show,
Which, by the way, I just wouldn't even try to challenge you in that whole fucking realm.
that's where you're an expert, my friend.
I've seen guys rattle off questions to Patrice off the top of their head, some obscure relationship question, and without blinking an eye or taking a second to think about it, his computer-like relationship head spits an answer out. You, like, in a second. It's like, oh, yeah. What are you talking about? You do blah, 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 this, that. And the guy's like fascinated. Like he just climbed a mountain and Buddha was sitting up there and he got an answer from him.
He's heading toward a weekly show with that. Yeah, it's that strong. So it's going to be on Saturday night, 8 o'clock inside? Yeah. 8 to 10.
Oh, they're talking about Black Phillip. Man, what a tragedy.
And this is what
They're talking about the creation of Black Phillip. I'm Spanish Phil. You can call me Spanish Phil.
I say to you, Patrice, if you get a team behind you, we'll do a 9/11 show.
We'll do a 9/11 show.
Easy right now.
A couple of weeks, we'll get on the air and do it with some proof and
we'll
all of our little
and we'll encourage everybody to call. People that agree with you and people that agree with it.
So what's going on? Yo, MC, easy with the chat spam. Keep your fucking sentences together. You don't need to put one word fucking things and spam everybody. So should I do you guys know anything about QAnon? Should I stop this live stream and then I should go live again and start talking about QAnon? Or what do you think? Do you guys know anything about QAnon yet? Or Q? I'll just call him Q. Do you guys know anything about Q yet? Or should I stop this live stream and then start going live again and rename it QAnon Flat Earth? What do you think? Who's here? Let me check to see who else is live. He's live again. I like to go through live streams and just type in random shit.
That they had on the DVD was Shane's last episode. It was like 3 weeks ago. I purposely didn't click on that link, but yeah, I heard that there was a big spoiler on one of the DVDs. And I know, I mean, and you know, the guys at AMC, they reached out to me, they apologized for that going, and they're really cool about it. And you know, it's one of those things where it just, look, I just felt like the band, sure, absolutely. Got fired. Yeah, exactly. Someone's head rolled on that one. I used to hate watching 24, and they would announce halfway through the season. Electrostatic energy, not only, you know, in nature and nature's creatures,
to do it, the way that bees are able to actually fly, the interesting things that they have found out about spirit beetles, and how they have some very interesting properties in their outer shell that seems.
He allows one thing and one thing only to remain outside the realm of relativity, independent of everything else. He claims that the velocity of light is constant under all circumstances, and therefore is absolute. This is a blunder of the first magnitude, but I do not imagine that he fell into it through an oversight, for it is quite evident that he was driven into this false position. He was compelled to say that the velocity of light is constant, because if he did not, his new geometry would be useless. We are told that light is a material thing, and that a beam of light is deflected from a straight line by the gravitation of any and everything that lies near its course as it passes within their sphere of influence. And we are further assured that light always maintains a uniform speed of 186,414 miles per second. We have, however, to remind Professor Einstein that this was determined as the result of experiments by the physicists Fizeau,
I'm excited to be on the forefront of something that's very new to this scale. Like I said, there's always been people that have been like, saying, hey, look, the Bible says the earth doesn't move. And we're like, yeah, that's what they said back then, but of course we know it moves. But so now, yes.
Yeah, I would like to comment about this higher power.
I'm actually turning off my.
I think it's a very important issue myself. Somebody who used to be in Alcoholics Anonymous for 7 years.
I'm telling these people to join my live feed, and I'm turning off my live feed. What the fuck? I'm an idiot.
Rob, where it's like you're gonna take down the bourgeoisie and rip their heads off with a piece of sawdust or something. And I just remember she had she wrote me flirty emails where she redacted, like she cut out letters about the things that. Anyway, it was really. She was a very fun person, but one thing she did write to me was she said, well, you're probably going to be, ruling Broadway while I'm sleeping in a bus shelter, or like she was really trying to build me up, and there was kind of ego feeding and so on, which was alarming, right? People can praise you that much, it's dangerous. It's not they're trying to inflate your ego to the point where you become addicted to their praise and so on. So the question is then, if cosplaying becomes something that's really foundational, that you can only interact with people, you're playing some high elf from Dungeons and Dragons or something, why can't you just be with people? And there probably is a similar insecurity, or I have to be me plus. Like I can only survive if it's me plus the welfare state. I can only be interesting if it's me plus this costume and so on. And again, not to saying all costumes are bad, but if it becomes kind of a habitual thing, I wonder if there's not this insecurity, because if we can solve the problem of insecurity, we get a free market, we get freedom. All right. Super chat. Celine Benken says, can women who cannot have their own kids help change the future of kids? My dear, of course. In fact, you can do it more than women who have children. Now, first of all, if you want to have kids and you can't have kids, which is a common problem. What was I just reading that since the 1970s, male sperm counts have declined 59%, I think it is. It's a huge public health issue. But so first of all, Celine, if you want to have kids and you can't have kids, I wish to extend my very deepest sympathies. That is a very, very hard and very sad thing, and I understand it's a very, very difficult thing. So I really wanted to sympathize with you about that. But because you can't have kids, you have a lot more time than people who do have kids. So you can do things like promote peaceful parenting, anti-spanking messages. You can talk to people. You can post. You can do a lot. You can start a charity if you want. You can do a lot to spread the message, more so than people who are bound up with having kids. So yes, you certainly can. So Super Chat Abix says, after listening to your many podcasts, I'm still so scared of living, I think she means leaving my toxic family. How can I overcome this fear? Again, massive sympathies, my friend, for your toxic family. That's a terrible way to start life. yeah, the average doesn't kill you, makes you stronger. But, you know, people still don't go around pounding their knees with 2x4s because they're stronger for overcoming it. And you still don't want that kind of suffering. So here's the question, right? So if you, let's say you have a toxic family and you want to leave your toxic family of origin, I assume you're talking about, not your husband or whatever, or wife. Here's the question. When you grow up in a toxic family, how do you know whose feelings are whose feelings are whose? This is a very, very important question. With Jim Carrey, as I talked about, I think it was his mother's preference for socialized medicine so that she could have the government as her dealer, and he just absorbs that, and he thinks those are his feelings. He genuinely thinks those are his feelings. If you're scared of leaving your toxic family, how do you know the emotion is actually yours? In other words, how do you know it's not their emotion? That they are implanting a fear in you of leaving them so that you'll stick around without them having to become better people. Because if a relationship is hanging by a thread, then you should try and be, if you want to keep the relationship, you should try and be a better person, right? Obviously. If you don't want to become a better person, you can kind of terrorize the other person into being afraid of what's going to happen if they leave. And like, people do this. I mean, I'm sure if you've been in a bunch of relationships and broken up with someone, they will often say, like, if you say, well, I want to leave, and you get up and you, oh yeah, that's right, walk away, that's what you always do. You know, people will give you this curse. Like, if you leave them,
yeah,
you are playing out some psychodrama that you're never going to be free of, and it's just gonna running away. It's like, you know, I mean, so you're walking down a dark alley and some guy jumps you with a knife and wants to take.
Yeah, I just got done listening to Patrice O'Neill talk about 9/11 and completely get it 100%, and listen to Opie and Anthony and Jim Norton and all these random people team up on Patrice. Yeah, dude. They all turn into sniveling cowards controlled by the Jews. It was pathetic. I'm completely. I used to have respect for Opie and Anthony. I used to have respect for Jim Norton. I'm completely done. I'm totally attacking. If I wasn't so slackful, I would. Yeah, Anthony's a pedophile, and if I wasn't so full of slack, I would spend most of my days just attacking all Globe Earth comedians. But since J.R. Bob Dobbs has blessed me, I can't spend all my energy on just torching these Globeheads comedians. Yeah, no, he didn't do that, you fucking idiot. He blessed you for some reason. Shout out to the JOOs who took down the buildings. Beldorf and Mazel Tov. I like hold on 1 second. Hey, MC Windsor, what I would like you to talk to John Manson in a. Yeah, I like the mud fossils. They're definitely. I've been looking into them for years and years. But John and MC, I want you to get into it in the chat and create a little bit while me and my buddy Sean talk for a second. So what's up? Of course, I got a couple of prospects in mind. Well, yeah, I mean, I have the 9th or the 8th or something, so. So yeah, like. Nah, you'll be fine, actually. You'll still pick up someone, you always do. But you know, I do too. And I've already picked up like 2 people that are probably on the list. Exactly, so. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, oh yeah, that shit. It's midnight over here. Yeah, it gives me a nice little head start. Meh. Yeah, no. Oh, would you create a thread or something? I haven't even checked it. Yep. Yep. Yeah. So, fuck it. Hold on. Let me hold on a second. Yeah, those tree stumps have hexagonal patterns. So tree stumps aren't lava doesn't cool in hexagonal perfect geometric patterns. It doesn't perfect symmetrical geometric patterns. Lava doesn't cool that way. That's not how it works. So those there's obviously something to those titans and mud fossils. We're literally living on the backs of giants. That's where that saying comes from. Yeah, fractals. Fractal. Fractals is it's the ultimate pattern. Fractals and fractals and fractals. Pi and phi. But yeah, so I guess I'm gonna look. So let's see here next. Yeah. So what time is the shit activate over for me since I'm in the East Coast? All right. Yeah, exactly. Sherry, you're correct. We're definitely living on an excavated plane. That when I fully understood the excavation theory, well, when I realized it wasn't a theory. You ever see those giant machines that are the size of anime titans? Oh well, no. I mean, yeah, that's cool too. But those machines that are, yeah, no, it's but those there's these giant. It looks like a scene out of the Wild Wild West, where like the fucking they have like giant rock machines that are like huge wheels with scoopers and just they just rip apart mountains and it just scoops up things like where it's literally so fucking yeah like apparently all the deserts like deserts aren't natural. Deserts are an unnatural phenomenon caused by the excavation and the demineralization of the earth from humans excavating all of the life from the forest and the dirt, and because apparently if you chop down like the redwoods, and apparently uh, titans even get thrown into the mix if you let like chop down titans, and what was the other one? Oh, like the giant trees that they mineralize, and they turn into, after time they densify and they turn into all these different gems and minerals and golds and metals and weird precious materials that are priceless, and so they're just like, all right, well, let's just kill everything, chop it all down, and if you look actually, there are petrified trees that are pure crystalline material, so it is pretty fucking interesting, and it's definitely has some merit into it. It's weird. Like like Grand Canyon, like, oh yeah, like get the fuck out of here. This shit's human made, bruh. Like they're doing shit that we don't know about. This shit's so fabricated that it. Uh huh. Yeah, like it totally blows my mind nonstop to see how dumb people like Patrice O'Neill are, and see how stupid I was 5 years ago, or like, so it's just like, I was so like, well, yeah, I know, yeah, but I know a lot more than most people, and I still know that I know nothing, and but it is, it's like, dude, when I see people that get thrown into the thresholds of basically reading a book and looking into alternative histories, timelines, and shit like that, they can't take it, and they just shut down, and they'll just like look at their phones and like, yeah. Like, it's just, I don't know, it's just funny. Like, dude, I can't believe how like Jim Norton and all of them are like 100% 9/11 like official story. Like, yeah, it's the Arabs, and this gravity took the buildings down because the plane. And I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, these are like the people I used to respect. No way, no way. Donald Trump. Yeah, but did you see the technology, the little nanotechnology that literally vaporizes the steel I beams in the dust in fucking nanoseconds? So what they're gonna do now is they're gonna try to. Mm, yeah, but haven't you seen like even basic farmhouses that are made of concrete bricks, and they get hit at the bottom, and then they just goes boom, and then it's just curved like the Eiffel Tower or the Leaning Tower. Yeah, yeah, that's what I mean. Dude, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, dude. Like, so apparently gravity is too weak to just pull that down over time. It's just really good construction work, or No, I don't. Oh, I can't stand that shit. Try to cover their fucking tracks. Yeah. Fucking have you I mean, I know you do basic research on conspiracy type shit, and you probably get most of your most main conspiracies from myself, but but yeah, I know. Fucking assholes don't give me enough credit. It's like, here, I'm providing you with all of the best like conspiracies, and you don't have to do any work, you lazy pieces of shit.
You know, and then it would be like, all right, what is gravity? And I thought about it, I'm like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm like, then I had to go back and start
Yeah,
looking up stuff that I studied back in elementary school and start backing up what I'm believing. And I'm like, all right, there's still stuff I see that I believe.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember. God damn it. Sorry, bro. I, I remember. For the first, I remember Tony was living with you at the time, and fucking, I don't know what we were watching or something, but I don't know what we were watching, but I remember I started questioning gravity, and I remember. Oh yeah, that's what I said. I said gravity's not proven, and that that was like 2008, 2009, or no, that was 2000, no, that was 2010, 2010 or 9, right? Okay, okay. Yeah, and I was trying to, and yeah, you guys are like, what are you talking about? I'm like, nah, this shit's not. I'm like, how could gravity be this? It's different in different places. I'm like, it's the same. They say that the gravity on the moon is 1/6 of that on Earth, so that means that it's different in other places. Yeah, so that means it operates the same, yet it's different in other places. Like, oh, the gravity's turned on low in this place, it's high in this place, it pulls in this place, it pushes in this place. It's like, dude, no, that doesn't make any sense. It can't push and pull at the fucking exact same time. It's fucking bullshit. And I was questioning, And I'm like, dude, I'm not trying to say that I'm smarter than Einstein or Isaac Newton. I remember saying that, and I'm like, I'm just questioning things, and I know exactly. It's not any different at all. All yeah. So like the flat earthers have like a brag or a boast. They like to say like, well, I was a flat earther in 2016. Well, I was a flat earther in 2015. It's like, well, I was a flat earther in 2014. Well, okay, we get the point. It's like, if it's like, all right, well, it's like, yeah, it's just funny because like I remember after that conversation, like that seriously, that conversation with you and Tony in the living room in San Diego in 2000, early 2011 or 2010 or around there. I I fucking I remember extensively doing research on literally the classical model of physics of what it was in the past when Newton was alive. They're trying and figuring it out, and then comparing it to the modern the modern day physics. And I was like literally breaking it all down. I'm like, they don't even qualify gravity as a force. I'm like, it's not even. It's there's like the four main forces: the strong force, the weak force. I can't even remember the third one now. That was a rate. It's like I don't even fucking remember. It's like electromagnetic or radioactive or something. I don't even fucking remember. But the fourth force is supposedly gravity, and they don't even omit it, or they keep it out because they don't understand it. Nobody understands gravity. But yeah, I can't even. It would take me literally 2 seconds to look up the third one. But all right, somebody help me out with that third force. Let's check it out. What is it? You got the strong force, weak force. Yeah, there was expanding Earth and electromagnetic. Oh yeah, well, and the hollow Earth too. Can't forget about the hollow Earth. Yeah, I was an expanding Earther and a hollow Earther. But I have proof of myself researching the flat Earth in 2011. 2010 too. Jesus, just people just donating so much money to that guy. Yeah, so I was right. Fuck yeah. Even when I don't know and admit I don't know, I was still right. Fuck yeah. Haha. Yeah, baby. He says weak force and strong force are the four fundamental forces in physics, and the others are gravity and electromagnetism. I was totally 100% correct. Fuck yeah, thanks for confirming that MC Windsor. So that's how you know you're listening to someone with credible source, because I'm talking with my buddy who I was living with in California at the time, and he was living with his roommate, and I was questioning gravity in 2010. And I loved getting confirmation, and I directly had to say to them, "Look, listen, I'm not saying I'm more intelligent than Einstein and Newton, and it's so funny that I specifically said that." Hey, I appreciate you guys being here and chilling with me for a bit while I expose some 9/11 bullshit, some flat Earth, talk about some physics, talk about her show Patrice O'Neill making fun of his comedy compatriots.
Hey, what's up, guys? Coach Jesse Mitchell with Get Handles Basketball. Today I'm going to show you how to never lose a basketball again when you're dribbling. I'm going to give you some dribbling tips that will help you see some instant improvement today. Before we jump into it, click that subscribe button and get on that notification spot. If there's any other parts of your game you want to improve, make sure you check out dead spots, flat basketball, hitting your legs when you're dribbling, and a whole bunch more. So stay tuned the entire video. Pretty much any issue you have with losing the basketball, we've got you covered in this. Let's get into the mechanics. The first thing, and this is a big issue with a lot of players, is how they're dribbling the basketball as far as their hands go. You don't want to be slapping the basketball like this. You want to be using your fingers. Okay, a lot of people say fingertips, not actually like the tips of your fingers. You want to be using the tabs of your fingers, the ends of your fingers to control the basketball. Some people say your palms should never touch the basketball. I disagree on that. I'm not saying it should, but I'm saying if it does, it's not the end of the world. As long as you're controlling with the ends of your fingers here, you're getting a good grip on the basketball and pushing the basketball into the ground. Other thing you want to pay attention to, we're going to get into this more later, is a high ball and hand time. So that basically means try to have your hand on the basketball for as much of the dribble motion as possible, right? If you're slapping it, then with the entire motion, your hand is not on the basketball, right? Make sure you got a good grip on it and that you're pushing the basketball, not slapping it. I'll have a link down below, though, if you want to take your grip to the next level. There's a video down there that I'll link you to that shows you how to improve your grip on the basketball so you can actually possibly palm it, even if you're really young. I actually got a 12-year-old with small, compared to me anyway, small hands, palming a basketball somewhat consistently. So if you can get that kind of a grip over the basketball, you're going to feel much more of a control over everything you do. It's going to feel much more comfortable, precise, and when it comes in your hand from a dribble, you're that much less likely to lose it. Now, the other thing you want to pay attention to when the basketball comes in your hand, notice how when it spins and it comes in my hand, it stops spinning, right? Every time it comes in my hand, I'm going to try to get that kind of a grip on the basketball. Everything happening with your hands is huge. The way you push the basketball, and then when it comes in your hand, trying to grip it as quick as possible, getting a nice tight grip on it. Staying a little more loose with the rest of your body. With your hands, you want to get a good, firm grip on the basketball. The second it touches your hands, you're less likely to lose it when you're doing that consistently. Put this tip in your game today, and it's been improved. Okay, we're going to get into some of the more specific things, like the ball hitting your legs, or getting out of control, or different basketballs, different court surfaces in the next tip. But we got to cover one last thing with our stance and our mechanics, and it's our stance. You want to try to, for the most part, make sure you're butted down and your feet are a little bit more the shoulder width apart, either in a squat stance or a lunge stance, you're dribbling the basketball, or it could be somewhere kind of in between there, right? Not maybe a squat or a lunge, which would be what I call the split squat. When you're in those positions, number one, it's easier to move and react on the court. But as far as losing the basketball, what it's going to do is it's going to bring your hands lower to the ground. Remember how we talked about you want to try to have a high ball hand time so the basketball in your hand for as long of a period as possible when you're dribbling, right? If I'm upright, look where my hand is at the lowest point. There's all this space here where my hand isn't touching the basketball. It physically cannot, unless I get my butt down. And again, even if I get my butt down here, I can only get it so low if I have my feet close together. But if I bring my feet out, now that drops my hand down, right? Whereas here versus here, comes down a couple extra inches. So that allows me to have a higher ball in hand time. So as the basketball is coming up into my hand is catching it lower to the ground, so I can grip it much more easily. Plus, I'm directing it more closely to the ground exactly where I want it to go. Now, everything is much more controlled, so I'm not going to lose it nearly as much just by getting my stance a little bit lower, getting my feet a little bit wide. Simple tip again, you put it in your game today.
making instant improvement. Yeah, the next 2 tips I'm going to give you are going to talk about more when you're on the move and pushing the basketball more out and making sure you're not hitting your legs or just losing control. So this first one, we're going to talk about just losing control so the ball just goes fine. When you're doing your moves, when you're on the run, a lot of times you might feel like you need to push the basketball out, more forward to cover some ground, right? If there's open space, you don't want to do this obviously if there's a defender right in front of you. So if you got space to work with, you want to push it out a little further, right? Maybe when you're starting off, when you do that, the ball gets too far away from you and then it goes out of bounds. Obviously, that's not something you want to have. One little tweak that you can put into your game that will make this happen a lot less. In fact, probably never have that happening. And you could just flick your wrists more down at the end. So notice how my fingers point down or even curl slightly back towards me. So that way I can extend my arm to push the ball out, but at the very end, I'm directing it down so the ball doesn't just keep going flying so far that I can't get to it. Same with your crossovers on more of your push crossovers, right? You use that same motion and then switch hands. So you can still extend it out, cover some ground with your feet, but the ball doesn't go flying so far that you can't get back to it. Simple tweak, put that in the game, you'll notice a big difference with that. Let's talk about dealing with the basketball hitting.
Pretty random, huh? Yeah, no problem, MC. Appreciate everyone showing up. I'm going to shut this down a little bit. I just wanted to watch this video before I shut it down. Actually, maybe I'll keep watching some random shit just to show you what I kind of, I don't know. Why do people get into things like simulation theory or Mandela effect? Because they're interesting as fuck. I used to think that both of those were bullshit. I used to think that the Mandela effect was bullshit, and I used to think that the simulation theory was complete bullshit. And now I entertain both. Now I'll talk about the Mandela effect. I can give you a million different Mandela effects that are mind blowing, and I can talk about the simulation theory a lot more. I can talk about the simulation theory all fucking day and be really confusing. It's just a bunch of fucking quantum mechanical. It's like, okay, well, if it's a simulation theory or if it's a simulation, I won't even say theory. If it's a simulation, then that means that I'm some sort of holographic avatar, and I can find the end of the maze and basically either upgrade my avatar or turn off my avatar and take control of the whole program. So when you're a simulation character who's so aware of the simulation and actually can turn off the simulation and help humanity, because if it is a simulation, then that means that I'm surrounded by a bunch of simulation non-playable characters that are in NPCs. So if I'm surrounded by, if I'm in a simulation surrounded by NPCs, then I become aware, break out, and get to the end of the simulation, turn off the simulation so then all of the non-playable characters become self-aware. Well, then the game's over. We win. CERN is bullshit. Like, CERN is just it's the same thing as NASA. It's just a fucking program that gets fucking millions and billions of dollars of people fucking donating money to them, distracting, wasting their time, idolizing them. It's insane. Shooting particles at each other. And then claiming that they're studying the results of that. Fuck out of here, dude. You guys aren't doing nothing. It's the same thing. They create weather programs. They try to. They're just. Here's the thing. I was really thinking about that. Like, they can't just destroy it all and take over. Like, they're not gonna do that. Like, martial law. You know how hard that would be? As soon as the front line of the civilians started getting taken over by the martial law and taken away, there would be such an outcry and rebellion of civilians putting together their and they would shoot and kill so many police and military. They would that's what they're obviously. So like I've talked to many people of the military about this exact topic, and the military would never side with the bad guys. they would never take orders from them and just kill all the civilians and shit. So like, stop worrying about that shit. Not all the big YouTubers, but man, it's just so fucked up how so many people are concerned about money. I could play along with those fucking games. I'm paying fucking $3,000. I'm paying $3,000 to do something I love. Here in the next, I gotta fucking pay it. I gotta pay fucking $3,000. Oh shit! I can't even talk about it. I can't even fucking talk about it. I just gotta do it. All right, you all. Guess peace out, man. Thanks for sticking around. Press the subscribe and the notification bell. Appreciate you sticking by, listening to Patrice, O'Neill, and I. See you later and have a good night, everyone. Have a good week.